one day my mom looked at me and she was like, in like the most spur of the moment thing, she just went, well, I don't know what I'll do if you move out.
Oh no.
And I was like, GG lor!
I've had to talk to my mom and dad about it.
Yes.
And just telling them like, hey, I'm going to like apply for a BTO is a conversation that I never thought would be super serious, but it became very serious.
Oh. I never turn on the main light. I hardly ever.
You're crazy.
I
If it's
hardly ever.
white,
I
like-
function on lamps and candles.
What the hell? Are we living in 1937?
Welcome to another episode of Men Explain, where unfiltered thoughts are out there.
Hopefully not too unfiltered because we're back with our two guests again, Fauzi and Leah. Say hi.
Hey.
Hi.
They're not tired of us yet,
Not
thankfully.
yet, but maybe after today they might be.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about something that is very talked about in Singapore, and it's, I would say, one of the biggest milestones in Singapore, which is owning your own home, moving out, you know? And I think that's something that a lot of us can either enjoy or not, and I'm one of the people that can't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I mean,
Soon.
but you've talked about it before.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, wait. So hold up. Over here, just so that we know who lives apart from your family, like, and who is still living with your family.
Okay. I'm still living with my parents.
Yeah, I just moved out.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm renting a place now. Yeah.
I still live with my mom as well. And you?
I moved out. It was almost like a bit of a testing ground thing during COVID. So at that point, I was already going out with my partner for a while. So he was like, oh, do you want to just like stay with me? So I was like, okay. I mean, it's not official, like, oh, here are your keys, move in, whatever. He gave me the passcode, which is similar to keys, I guess. So that was the test bit for me. And also, I feel it was a good transition for my parents because I'm the only child. I didn't want them to experience like an empty nest situation, you know? So how was your experience like when you moved out?
I think I moved out like it not entirely by choice, but also for like family reasons and stuff like that. So I moved out. If I had a choice, I wouldn't move out so soon because I think a lot of people, the common consensus is that they want to save money on rent. But I think that so far it's been pretty good having my own space. I think people don't realize it until they actually move to their own space and they're like, wow. Like having a whole space like completely changes up a lot of things. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with that, but
No,
yeah.
I totally do. I think because I'm very close to my family. And to me, it was never a situation of like, I want to get the heck out of here because I hate living with my family. Actually, I don't. I really love living with them. And to be fair, they've never given me any distress or like too much house rules. Honestly, they were actually quite chill.
Yeah.
So I moved out purely because I feel, oh, you know, it's just the right time. And it kind of suited everyone quite nicely. So yeah, that was my reason. For the two of you, has it ever crossed your mind like, oh, I must move out?
I mean, I come from a big family. I mean, Sons, you know this. I have 4 siblings. My mom is a single mom, and when I was younger, I used to like tell my siblings, "Oh, I want to move out by the time I'm like 25." You know, the reality of Singaporeans, the Singapore rental situation hit. But then now at this age, right, where I feel like I possibly could afford moving out.
Yeah.
Times have changed, and I decided that, you know, it's not so much about what I want, but what's best for the people around me.
Yeah.
All my siblings have partners; they've moved out, and like a while back,
It's
my mom.
just you.
Yeah, it's just me, Ninja, who's my dog, and then my mom. And then one day, my mom looked at me and she was like, in like the most spur of the moment thing, she just went, "Well, I don't know what I'll do if you move out."
Oh no.
And I was like, GG lor! Have to stay with you forever already. So, and then that was kind of to me like, okay, you know, first of all, I will save my mom because I know that if I'm not there, she will feel a certain
Crumble.
way. Yeah. And secondly, it really does, like you said, save money for rent.
Yeah,
Right.
it
So
saves
then
a lot.
I can focus on other things, but I still pay for everything in the house, you know. So I took that burden off my mother.
Yeah.
So for some of my friends who really want to move out, it's because they simply don't have space in their room. And some of
Right.
them, right, still share rooms with their siblings, for example. And they really just like desperately want their space.
Yeah,
No, for
absolutely.
sure.
I grew up with 4 siblings as well.
Ah, okay.
So for the most part of my life, I was basically sharing a room with my brother. 3 of my brothers have moved out already. They've got their own families, their own thing. So now it's only me and my younger brother in home. So I took over my brother's room. So I have my own space. But of course, now that I have turned 36, I can now go into the HDB BTO system, which is currently what I'm going through at the moment. So that's like a big milestone for me. And even this, right, I've had to talk to my mom and dad about it.
Yes.
And just telling them like, hey, I'm going to like apply for a BTO is a conversation that I never thought would be super serious, but it became very serious.
Oh.
Yeah, because you think like, okay, it's my age, I can move out.
Yeah.
But then, of course, on one hand, my dad's like, okay, good, move out. You can have your own space. I can, renovate the house. On the other hand, my mother is the kind that were like, why do you need to move out actually? You've got a comfortable house, you've got food
They
here.
will miss the family unit.
Yeah. And my
Yeah.
mom is especially emotional and tied to
Yes.
family. So it took her a while to get used to it.
Yeah.
But the more I have that conversation with them, now they're starting to plan about, okay, once you move out, I'm gonna do this to your room, and also they can
For sure.
downsize and then figure out, like what's your next step in their retirement life, lah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally relate to that because years ago, when I made this spontaneous decision to buy a place, right? The conversation with my parents was very interesting because my mom was worried that I'll turn it into a bachelorette pad.
Oh.
And we had bachelorette pad, which was obviously my intention. But then I ended up meeting somebody and then, things just didn't pan out the way that I imagined.
Obviously, there's always going to be a stigma when you still live with your parents at a certain age. And I firmly believe that this stigma was created by social media, by the Western world. Because I travel a lot, right? And every single time people ask me like, oh, so what is the living situation in Singapore like? And I go, oh, it's really expensive to own a house. And I still live with my parents. Are like, oh, at your age? And then I have to be like, yes.
It isn't our fault that housing is so expensive here. I think that is one of the really the main points that most people haven't moved out from their family home. Like you're paying rent right now.
Yes.
Do you feel like
Okay, I think it's a privilege that I'm able to move
Yes,
out and
it is.
pay rent for a space that I genuinely like. Because a lot of people, like, for the sake of having their own space, they have to compromise, right? They can't necessarily get like a nice place. So I think I'm very lucky to be able to find this place and afford it as well. But at the end of the day, when I think about it also, it's like all that money, it adds up and like it could like contribute to a down payment or something like that. You know what I mean?
I think, I will say that even though a lot of people have that perception like, oh, rent is a waste of money, but it's never a waste of money if it's helping your mental health.
1000%.
Yeah.
Like 1000%.
I also do think that a lot of Singaporeans share the same sentiment about renting, about moving out.
Yeah,
You know,
because it's the norm for us here to like only move out when you get married, or like when
BTO,
you are of a certain
35,
age or stage of life, right? So I don't think that amongst the Singaporean community we have that stigma.
Yeah, I
What
don't
do you
think
guys
so either.
The problem is
Yeah.
it's like if you're dating someone.
I was gonna go to that.
That
I
is
was
a
gonna
bit.
go
Then
to
it becomes
that.
a bit tricky.
Yes.
But then there are workarounds lah.
I have to ask, like, let's just take ourselves back to when all of us are still with our family, which two of you still are. How was the situation like having to bring people back?
You don't
Or
know.
like
What
you
do you
don't at all?
mean?
you don't?
You do.
I do.
No, I cannot. I have too much respect of my family's house to bring some stranger. Question is it dating, or is it like
Serious.
Like a
not?
hookup.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
never obviously brought anyone back to my parents' house, to my family home
Oh,
for that
okay,
reason.
okay,
I've
okay.
never.
Okay.
But
See?
also because we're girls is different.
Okay.
Right? Do you think? Or no.
No.
No, I'm not different. Okay.
For me, I just want to I mean, my mom quite chill. I'm also Eurasian, right? So like my family is not. So
That's
we're not
why.
traditional Chinese
That's
kind
why.
of like values. Which is nothing against that, but I think they're more chill. So if I bring like a guy back or whatever, I'll just be like, oh, this is like my friend, and my mom will be like, okay, hi. And I brought like my like young childhood boyfriends when I was like 14, 15 to my house,
That's
and my mom
crazy.
has been okay also.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, oh, okay, just leave her door open. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Fair.
I think for me it was a little bit different because I shared a room with my brothers.
I had my own place, my own room. Yeah.
So I shared a room with my
different.
brothers. My mom was home and my sisters were home as
Oh
well.
my gosh.
Which to me actually created a very interesting dynamic when it came to bringing girls home.
Yeah.
I always say this. My mom is my first line of defense when it comes to women. Right? Which is funny because a lot of people say, oh, parents should be last, right? But my mom is my first line of
I love
defense.
that.
Okay.
So whenever I meet a new girl, I will let her meet my mom
I
first.
love
Oh,
that.
cute.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and my mom will always be like, or like,
Okay,
you know?
okay, nice.
I see.
But
Wow.
being in that situation where I had to bring them back to my family home. I think being raised in a Eurasian household was a little bit more
flexible.
They were a bit more open to it.
I think it really depends on your parents, but maybe it plays to our Eurasian heritage. I don't know.
Okay. My folks are quite unconventional for if you want to say a Chinese family, because I do know that there are a lot of my friends who are very traditional Chinese, or maybe not even just traditional.
Yeah, traditional.
Yeah, I don't really even think it's about the race or heritage or anything. Yeah. They were quite open-minded when it came to like me dating or bringing boyfriends over.
Yeah.
But I will never bring a random guy that I'm just
understand.
you know, like whatever, like not serious with.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to the next question, right? People have said before to me, right? Oh, you want to rent your own place because you want to bring girls back, right?
Oh.
So is there this assumption that you feel that people would say, oh, you want to rent because you want to be able to, you know, bring people back to your place? Or is it because you just want to do your own thing?
Well, my mom was worried I turned it into a bachelor.
No, I was going to say.
So she definitely crossed her mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, did that cross your mind? Because that's something you would do too. If you were in my shoes. You know what I mean?
I think if like your parents are very conservative, right, then maybe that kind of topic will come up, because like they'll question whether, why do you need to move out? Like, why do you feel like we need to distance ourselves? But I think with regards to like friends or other people bringing it up, I think not as much. Most people ask me the opposite actually. They are like, oh, like your mom let you move out?
It's such a tough one though, because I feel like there is a space where, especially coming from like an Asian upbringing, an Asian household, people are going to say things like, oh, you're not being a good daughter or a good son and you're moving out. It's always like, oh, are you doing this because of?
Right.
But it's more of, no. I'm still very close to my parents, like you said, right? Yeah. It's just a milestone in my life and it's just something that I want to do as I grow up.
So my parents had to have that adjustment period, right? Where they were so used to me always being around, going back. And then suddenly I'm like not there.
Yeah.
So for sure, I think they felt a sense of like, they do miss me. I mean, of course.
Of course. Only child.
Yeah, my great personality and entertainment. And of course they felt that empty nest, right? They're like, oh man, like, but they never projected that on me. They never went like, you know, you are so horrible because you moved out and you don't want to even like visit. Because I still do visit them. Yeah. I try to meet them at least twice a week still. I still text them every day. Yeah.
I love your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all in very different phases. Right? I'm living with my mom and I don't plan to move out anytime soon. You are getting a BTO, but you're currently living with your family. You have got your own place and it's a condo. And you are renting. Right? So what was the thought process that came into every single one of this? Why do you choose that? Why do you choose renting? Why do you choose a BTO?
Yeah. I think at the point when I turned 35, I knew I wanted to start applying for a flat. And the main reason why I wanted to do it is because, one, it is the most affordable option. As a single, I think that was a very big consideration for me. I am one person who has to tank the whole cost. So if I was alone and buying private property, I think I would be paying my mortgage until I die. Right? Sure. So, and I didn't think that was something prudent for me at that point of time. So recently, I just put in my name for a ballot for an SBF or sale or balance flat, which means these flats are either between like 1 to 2 years to be ready, or there are already existing units that are ready for people to already
people
move
like
in.
defaulted on
exactly
the agreement or something.
Do you know any other people in your age group who are singles and are BTOing as well?
For me, it's like I don't know anybody who is single, a freelancer, and applying for a BTO. So that was actually one of the challenges I faced when I was applying to that process. Because as a freelancer, right, there's a lot of paperwork that the HB needs for like certain grants that you have. So that process was I almost like wanted to
very tedious, right?
Yeah, it was so frustrating. The paperwork they kept asking for. And my final straw, right, I decided like, you know what? I'm going to forego the grant. Just so I can get that letter to allow me to buy a flat.
Wow.
Right.
And then now there's still more paperwork, because it's not like I get the paperwork, I can immediately apply for a flat. I need to wait for a ballot. So right now I'm in
the process
is crazy.
So long.
So now it's like lucky draw lah. So I'm trying for the SBF first. If I don't get it this time round, I'm gonna try for a BTO option, which obviously more options. more
longer
flats,
wait.
but longer wait.
Yeah.
So, Sans, yours was a very different process.
It was different. I was just gonna actually touch on that because for me, right, and you, I think it's a bit similar. Like, I didn't need the apartment now.
Yeah.
Like, it was more of a investment idea for me.
Yeah.
Because my family, and I think it's okay to share this because a lot of our parents may have experienced the same thing because we are a bit of a sandwich generation,
Yeah.
right? Their generation didn't really have the best planning when it came to finances or owning
Yep.
homes.
Yeah.
So to them, they told me, if you're able to own a home,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
Because they feel like the one thing they made a mistake on was that they just kept renting for a very long time because of the financial situation that we were in.
I feel like for my parents, their biggest, I would say their biggest flex is that at that point of time when they were able to do it, they bought property.
Yeah.
They had, I mean, obviously they have like an executive flat, which I live in right now. They also have a condo. All these things, right, is just income for them.
Yeah,
for their
it's like passive
retirement. So
income,
like,
exactly.
them smart lah. I think to them, that's kind of set them up
Yeah, that's
for the
smart.
rest of
That's
their
smart.
life. And I wish I had that flexibility at this
Yeah.
point of time, but because
But you're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah,
'Cause
hopefully lah.
all you
hopefully,
need
man.
is you need the first one. Like, and you just select a
Correct.
apartment within your means. Like, don't.
real.
I know some people and some peers who are like, oh no, I'm gonna continue saving till I can afford a 4-room condo or something.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay,
Nice.
but you're gonna be saving for a long time.
real.
So do what you feel makes most sense for you right now.
Yeah.
Even if it's something small, it's still your own space,
Yeah,
and you
real.
build from there. You know.
Yeah.
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 But for you, Leah, you
Yes.
wanted a more immediate solution. I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Technically, not necessarily. It wasn't necessary to be immediate, but
Yeah.
I found this place through a friend that was really like, the price was good, the location was good, the
You like
whole
the
place was
energy.
renovated, like,
Yeah.
and it was like basically because I should like work from home, right? So I needed it to look like nice. So that was the issue with renting places is that a lot of places, unless you rent a condo, it looks more like rundown old HDB. They don't really do a lot of renovations to it. Yeah, so the rent prices for condos nowadays are like crazy expensive. So when I got this good like offer and deal, I decided like, you know what? I already was in the space of looking. So I just decided to go ahead with it. Because prior to that, I did look for places. I was looking for places to buy, actually. But yeah, like the prices are ridiculous like nowadays. And when you're buying places, it's also important to make like a good decision for the place that you buy. Not just buy for the sake of like, oh, I can afford it, then I buy. Right? Like, it also has
It needs
to be
to
like,
feel right.
yeah, it has to feel right. And it also has to be like, how is it really an investment? Because sometimes the places, if you just buy like a 1-bedroom place, right, there's no investment, return on investment on that. So I had to consider that also because like within my means and stuff, right?
Do you think like men and women ultimately approach this whole like house hunting thing very differently? I'm curious.
I'm not sure. Like, I mean, because renting, it's like, it's very different from buying a place, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a bit difficult to compare.
So let's look at it hypothetically.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Let's say right now all of us don't own homes. What would you look for in a home? Right?
Yeah.
What would you look for? Because for me, obviously, I want somewhere that is number one, convenient.
Okay, so
But I think most
location.
people-
Yeah, most
Location,
people. That
yes.
location, I think it's not a
But-
gender
Yeah.
related
But
thing.
secondly, because I know the kind of person that I am, right?
Yeah.
Which is that if I have my own space, I would love for my friends to be over all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a place that I would want not just me to feel comfortable, but I want my friends to be like, hey, Avery, can we hang?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, please come over.
Yeah.
Right?
For
So
sure.
I think that's two of the main considerations that I would take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I want a place with lots of daylight.
Oh, me too.
I don't know.
Real?
I need
Real?
that.
That's
That's a
Real?
gender
So
thing.
is
I'm
that a
like,
gender thing?
I
It might
need
be.
daylight. Maybe.
No, I like daylight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just
Do
checking.
you care about daylight? Not
I
very
mean,
important.
got light.
No,
No,
I
this
don't
light
like fluorescent
cannot.
lighting.
Need the
Cannot.
sun.
Oh
Need
no,
the
I
sun.
like white fluorescent.
Oh my god, no. That's a no
I'm a
for
psychopath,
me.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh
no
my
key. Mine is like natural lighting all the
Same.
way. Like open
or-
the window.
Or ambient lighting.
Yes.
Got light
ambient,
switch for a
yeah.
reason, guys. Got light
No,
switch for a reason.
no. Lamps. We
Yes,
have lamps.
lamps.
Yeah.
I never turn on the main light.
Yeah,
I
no.
hardly ever.
You're crazy.
So if it's
Hardly ever.
white,
I
like,
function on lamps and candles.
Oh my god, real.
Yeah.
What the hell? Are we living in 1937?
I guess that's the difference.
It's not an oil lamp, okay?
Same electricity lah, same electricity.
Hey,
Just
hey,
candle.
hey.
Yeah, my electricity bill not so bad.
That's so crazy.
What about you? What do you look for?
We moved a couple of times, right? So I hated that. So like if I'm looking for a home, right, I'm looking for a forever home.
Yes.
I'm going to look for one place and I'm going to make it as comfortable as possible, and that will be my forever home. Then anything else like buying investment property, that will be for investment
side,
purposes.
Yeah.
But I want some place that I will probably want to stay for the longest time.
Me too, actually.
I don't like moving.
Yeah.
I
Oh my god,
hate
it was a hassle. Like I
hate
tell you,
moving.
I just recently moved. So it's like there's boxes everywhere and I'm like, I hate it. I hate living in a mess.
Correct.
Yeah, so I totally get about like the not moving like
Yeah.
multiple times situation. Yeah.
High ceilings.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that is a privilege.
yes.
High
Yeah,
ceiling.
privilege.
Suddenly I just thought about it. I want
High-
high
yeah.
ceiling.
High ceiling,
Yeah,
big
don't-
windows.
Makes me feel tall.
I feel like the toilet needs to have a nice vibe as
Oh,
well.
for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Like I have been to people's houses, right, where the toilet is like really not where you want to be. I don't know, it's like damp,
Oh.
it's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah,
Then the window
I
like this
cannot.
small.
I cannot. Actually, my toilet has no window
No, but
because
you
of
can
the
on the
placement.
light.
But the
lighting,
tiles and the lighting, wow, nice.
Yeah.
I can sit
Because
there.
you can
Yeah.
like you can put the under the sink lighting
Yes,
and
I have
all,
that.
like
The ambient lighting.
yeah
Yeah.
to make it more
See,
alive.
clearly the guys don't
They never
really
think
care
about it.
that.
I just wish my toilet was warmer. Like
Oh,
heated
like
seats.
seats.
Must be heated
Oh,
seats.
okay.
That's
Heated
the only
seats.
thing I want.
Bidet?
Heated. Yes, of course.
Yes. So
My-
like half your budget going to your toilet.
That's
bowl.
why.
Yeah.
Then everything else simple.
Every doesn't care.
My toilet can flush a happy already.
Hey, what's up with you?
I've been trying to find a new shower routine, but even finding the right body wash is such a struggle. I can't find one that keeps me fresh and clean without that squeaking dry feeling.
Okay, honestly, I think that's a you problem because my soap leaves my skin clean yet supple at the same time.
Okay, share the secret.
Okay, since I started living by myself, I really wanted to invest in the small things that make life better. And I found the best body wash ever.
Tell me more.
The new Kirei Kirei Gentle Care Foaming Body Wash has 99.9% antibacterial effectiveness, has gentle care formula, and is free from 13 harmful additives. The rich, creamy foam cleanses effectively, yet is gentle on your skin.
Okay, so we've got some stories here from Reddit. I want to
Go for
read
it,
it out
yeah.
to you guys, right? And let me know what you guys think. Okay, so the first one is this one. When I moved out at 27, I had to execute the logistics of moving in and dealing with landlords,
Yeah.
agents, and potential tenants. Grew up a lot by having experiences with this. Living with parents, even though I do chores, means I never had to deal with the hassle that comes with having my own place, but it doesn't feel like independence at all. So I guess
Right.
here, it's about independence when you move out.
Yeah, so I didn't have like the overseas college experience like some of my friends who may have had that experience. You know, they had a taste of how it's like to have to cook, wash your own laundry,
Laundry,
do all that
yeah.
kind of stuff and keep the place clean, right? So when I did move out into my own place, suddenly there was so much responsibility because there are days, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take a toilet paper from the storeroom. No more toilet paper.
Yup.
And I always took this for granted because my mom was the one that's keeping track of all the household items. But when I live alone, nobody's keeping track. So in the end, my mom still helps, you know, because moms will always be moms. Even when you move out,
Oh no.
your mom is gonna invite herself over
She
anytime.
promised already. I
said
I
that she
already
will
said
do it.
you're invited. I will give you the key number.
Yeah.
So
you just
cute.
open, come and clean.
It's a very good thing.
Well, speaking of parents, right? This
Yeah.
next one that we want to touch on is actually quite an interesting one. So this person says, I don't have a great relationship with my parents. After moving out, I would like to have my own life. And this definitely sounds heartless, but I do not wish to be the main caretaker to my aging parents. Am I selfish?
Ooh, tea.
Wow, this one is like a
wow.
therapist session worthy.
Honestly, I think people shouldn't be shamed for like the choices that they make because sometimes I think like parents make their own choices towards their children also, and inevitably it affects them and their decisions in the future. I feel like most people's sentiment is like, yes, they will take care of their parents when they grow old. And I don't think mine is like super far off from that. But I also do think that if you have been traumatized by your parents or like people in your household or like just have not a good experience growing up and you want to really be completely independent of that and move out on your own, then I don't think people should be faulted for like wanting to keep that distance and like cut ties off and stuff. Because like sometimes you need to protect your own peace.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think things can change. Like
Yeah.
situations can change too.
Mm.
I mean, I do know of friends who moved out because of like a family tiff and
Yeah.
they just can't get along living under the same roof with their family.
Yeah.
Or maybe their family don't approve of their partner that they
No,
want to, you know,
yeah.
there's so many reasons why, right? But after they moved out,
It's
their
been better,
relationship
right?
Mm. actually got better.
Right.
Because they both then realized like, a bit of emptiness.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like even though you might hold resentment or some stuff might have happened between family, if you feel the need sometime down the road to reconcile and to still change your mind, it's not too late. Like you can still do that. I don't think that it's a one and done kind of decision.
Yeah, and when you're like separated, you're not like in everyone's face all the time. Sometimes the space is a constraint, so you just see everyone's face, like,
and it triggers you all the time for no reason.
Yeah, and you can't control it. So like having that distance, right? Then you won't be like so easily triggered. And you only see them like once a week, twice a week, or something, right? You can have more control over like how you behave and how you react in like a better space as well. So sometimes it's better like that.
Okay, so we've put together some of the most common questions that Singaporeans ask about moving out, renting, getting a BTO, all that. Okay. Renting feels like throwing my money away, but I don't want to wait 5 years for a BTO. So what should I do?
This
one
is-
got no solution.
solution.
Sorry, you either rent or you just wait lor. Like like no solution.
I think I got a solution.
Okay, what is it?
Because this is what my friends did. My friends
Ooh.
actually wanted to do exactly this.
Okay.
So two of
Stay
them were
together.
engaged. Yeah. So two of them were engaged together. So a group of friends, two of them were engaged together. One of them wanted to move out.
Yeah.
And another one of their friends wanted to move out as well.
Yeah.
So what they did was one day they talked, right? And they all moved in together. So
okay.
the couple got the master bedroom.
Yeah.
They paid the most for rent.
Mm.
And then the other two stayed in a separate room.
Yeah.
But it was a condo. So
Yeah.
they all
Right.
pooled money together to move out together.
But ultimately, you're still living with
You're
a
still
bunch of
renting
people,
lah.
though.
Correct. But they're living with their friends.
Which-
So they
Yeah.
made it a bit easier for them.
And I think if you share with your friends, you feel better to use the communal spaces also.
Yes.
So you don't feel like you're restricted to just your room.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's like a solution.
I think that's
And
the
friends
easiest
don't
one.
police you, I guess. I think people
They
sometimes
might, they
feel-
might.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think like you have to choose the right friend.
Okay, yes,
Correct.
yes, yes, yes.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
there's a risk if you move in with friends you've never lived with before.
Yes.
You might
End
end
up
up
breaking up
Yes,
best friends.
yes,
you might end up ruining the friendship.
But I guess
True.
that's the only solution that I can give. You got to find people who are like-minded to
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
move in together.
Yeah.
Real?
Okay.
Lower the rent.
Next question over here. Moving out is so expensive. How do people even save enough for anything like deposits, renovations, furniture, and all that?
Actually, it's a good question. I want to ask also.
Can take like loan, not loan, but like you can pay later. Pay not
Like a loan. It's a loan.
It's a loan,
basically,
right?
yeah.
Effectively, yeah. But it's expensive lah.
It is so
I would
like
say
Is it? Do you renovate your place?
no, I didn't
Okay,
because
okay.
I mean, fortunately, it's a brand new place, so I
Right.
didn't really have to do much.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will say that I do have a lot of friends who just get furniture on like
Yeah.
Carousel.
Yeah.
Okay, the furniture part, right, and the renovation part, it's really how much you want to go with that. Because some people go like 100K on renovation. I think that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's
Too much,
crazy.
too much.
I think that if you don't need it, I think
Yeah.
you can actually do up the place in a much more affordable way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be conscious about what you spend on.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always an alternative. Like you,
You
can go
can
to
set a
IKEA.
budget.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go to IKEA and get functional pieces.
But I think
Yeah.
in Singapore, like a lot of people, like once they get their BTO, so a lot of people go the route of like, marriage and then like
Yeah,
BTO,
yeah,
right? Then
yeah.
they have this perception that, okay, I need to renovate my house and it needs to look like a certain wabi-sabi
Yeah,
vibe
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is.
yes.
Okay. Sorry, not to
It's
like...
minimalist.
Yeah.
What's wabi-sabi?
Like the
Minimalist.
Japanese Muji.
Japanese
Then got
minimalist.
Japandi.
Zen.
Okay, whatever it is.
Obviously,
not his
I'm not.
aesthetic,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
not
not
me.
his
Yeah. I just need a
His
nice
toilet
toilet.
flush
Yeah.
can be
correct.
Then you might as well just rent a toilet. Just stay in there.
I would be happy.
But like, because like people are so like caught up in this, like I need to do this, I need to do this, and they
Because
see
they're
their friends
worried
do
about
it.
what people see, a lot of how people perceive them.
Yeah, but like honestly, you just have your own space, right? A lot of people, like even the space I'm renting, it's not like super done up or whatever. People are just like, oh, it feels cozy. Like I think the most important is like you feel
You feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, real.
Yeah.
Okay, so seeing how both of us have already moved out and you're in the process of doing so and you will too someday, what kind of sacrifices do you think you have to make or that you've made to be able to make this possible? I think that's one of the questions also that a lot
I
of
see.
young Singaporeans are wondering, like, man, do I have to sacrifice going out to eat? Do I have to sacrifice travel
Okay.
so that I can afford to
Mm.
pay for my rent or my
Okay.
mortgage?
I have definitely like considered like spending a bit less on like transport, so don't grab so often or like don't eat
Don't
out
eat,
so
like,
often.
fine dining places
Yeah,
or
because like you have
whatever.
your own place, you have a kitchen, you can cook, right? So just cook simple meals or like meal prep and stuff. I think that will help you save a little bit of money here and there because you have your own place. But if you're like really sacrificing and you're like, oh my god, I can't like do a lot of things that will make you happy, then you'll feel very unhappy also. Spending
Like,
that
you
money
don't
on rent.
want to feel like you're chained down.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
worried about having to pay the rent like every single month. Like so, yeah, that's something you need to really consider, like planning the finances properly as well. Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's my fear.
I think so.
Like, I love traveling, right? And I will always travel to all these weird, exotic countries, and I'll blow money on it because to me, that's what makes me happy. And then I think to myself, if I want to move out, do I have
You may
to
have to
stop traveling?
sacrifice that.
Do
you
I
might
have to? Do I have to sell my car? And I guess what Leah's saying is completely true, because if I'm thinking about this right now, maybe I'm not in the right headspace to move into a new place.
And there's no rush to be in that headspace, you know, because I think we've grown up in a society that's full of comparison. And if, like, you know, let's say in a group of friends, if some of your friends start getting married and like engaged, then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I need to do the same thing. Or like, oh, I need to move out too. But I think we should just, it's all at our own pace. All at our own pace.
Okay, so looking back, right, I guess since everybody here is kind of moved in, have already got your renting place, would you do anything differently? Like, would you have picked a different spot? Would you have waited a bit longer?
Okay, I'm very thankful that I was working in a company for 9 years and I have enough CPF to pay for a flat. If you are in a normal job, that CPF is going to be
It's a lifesaver.
It really is. And then a lot of people don't realize how much that can take off that financial burden when you're buying a house. I think that will be something. Maybe I will work a bit longer lah. Maybe lah.
Collect a bit more.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I feel I would have changed is that as a freelancer, I would definitely have kept all my paperwork in order very properly, because when the time comes when you need it, right, and you have to dig up everything, and I mean everything.
Need you dig up everything?
Dude,
Like
they wanted...
receipts vibes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I thought I kept my books very
Same,
in order lah, but according to them, no lah. So I had to do a lot of these things, and I feel like with this, I felt if I had this knowledge before, I would have done a much better job at applying for that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, on a similar thought, right? Like, I don't know whether this is all creative people, but I'm very bad with paperwork also. Anything admin related, I'm like terrible at it.
Same.
I wish I was more involved with this whole process of like applying for the house and everything. Because for me, I'm very fortunate. My parents are still around to like guide me through that, you know? But I really leaned a lot on them to figure these things out, because I was clueless. And also because I was much younger at that point, I think you get caught up in the excitement of like, oh my God, new space, all that. Then I don't really pay attention to all these, what is the interest on your mortgage every month. I tell my mom and dad, you know what, you guys just choose what you think is best. But they were saying, but this is your house. You need to know like what you're getting yourself into, which I've only started doing in the recent years. So if I could turn back time and do that, maybe I would have been a bit more involved rather than get swept up in the excitement.
For me, I think because it's quite a recent move, so not really, I don't really have anything that really stands out at the moment, but definitely down the line I will think about it. Maybe in a few years I'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have rented. I should have just bought straight away, that kind of thing. But every decision you make is really like the best for you at that moment in time. So like when I look back, I probably won't really regret the decision or anything.
No, I believe in not regretting.
Yeah, no such thing, man. So I just think it's more of like small details that you should pay attention to. Like, oh, not get a house at like this area, or not get a house on like this floor or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's actually really good. Like my dad is so good at that. Like he will know like, oh, make sure your house faces east, not west, so you get the sunshine, the morning sunshine.
Yes.
Don't pick west, because when the sun
sets,
very
hot.
It's very hot, and then when the sun sets, right, the heat will be trapped at night.
Yes.
So when you're sleeping, right, your house will be very warm.
Is this a feng shui thing or like?
No, it's just the sun.
Okay, that one wasn't so specific for me. I think.
But like, all these little details you will like realize
Can I ask your
later.
dad to help me buy a house?
Can.
Well, thank you guys so much for your insight. I think today was very interesting because we have all four of us.
We're in different phases.
Where we could see different perspective from every single person here. So again, thank you guys for coming on Men Explain once again.
Yeah, all the best with your... All the best with setting up your house.
Thank you. Yay.
I'll get you some candles, girl.
Oh,
I got you.
Send me all the good luck, because my ballot results coming soon.
Okay,
manifest.
I want to get one out of like number one.
Energy.
Thank you.
Okay, please let us know. Okay.
I will.
Thank you guys so much for being here again. And if you're not following us on our socials, please do so at itsclarity.co, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
If you haven't already followed our podcast as well on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Me Listen, please do that right now. Share it with all your friends. Leave a comment if you got something you want to say or questions you want to ask. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I need to make sure that when I get my own place, my toilet is comfortable enough for Sonia Chu. Must put a light under the sink lah. The tiles must be
Ambient
nice lah.
lighting. I'm
Oh my
looking
God.
forward to your toilet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Aesop hand
Okay,
wash.
but I did buy that like initially, but then after a while I realized like, oh, it's really quite expensive.
Yeah, it is.
So I put something else inside that.
The water.
Icon.
Just pretend.
Icon.